Hello, everyone. I'm Jordan Bompshin. So I'm doing this project on behalf of my digital literacy class. We're supposed to do a mini documentary, and so I have chose one of my roommates who I just moved in with recently, and he's going to tell a story about a flight he had, a very interesting flight.
Hi, my name's Greg, and I'm going to tell you a story of the coolest flight I have done ever so far in my aviation career. So I took off from the middle of western Kansas here out of the Salina Airport. Sometime in the afternoon, I flew all the way out to Colorado. I spent the day with my brother out in Colorado and ended up leaving about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night from an airport right at the base of the Rocky Mountains. It's in the fall, so at this time it's already dark out. It's a little bit overcast in Colorado, so when I left, it was pitch black. No stars, no moonlight, no nothing. I filed IFR, so ATC could follow me on their radar, and headed back home. It was about a 4.5 hour flight ahead of me. What I didn't realize until later when I got up to cruising altitude and I saw it on a weather alert was that it was the night of a supermoon. That's a night where the full moon is out, but due to an illusion in the atmosphere, it looks about 10 times bigger than normal. So I get about halfway on my flight, and I'm over the middle of western Kansas. And for those of you who don't know western Kansas, the population out there is maybe 100 people for every 100,000 square miles. There's almost nobody out in western Kansas. So here I am flying out over the middle of Kansas, and I break free of the clouds, and the sky opens up in front of me. I'm just like, wow. No city lights, no town lights, no nothing below me. It's just so dark out, but yet the stars are up above me. And the coolest part was, you could not differentiate between where the sky started and where the ground, the horizon melted together. It just seemed like one giant black void. I mean, yeah, there's little farmhouses every so often, but they look so similar to stars, it almost just blended right in. And then right out in front of me, right to my 1 o'clock, staring me straight in the face was the supermoon. Just bright and glorious. It was amazing. And so I'm out there flying over western Kansas, just soaking in the immensity of the sky. And a thought occurs to me, it's so dark out. I haven't heard anything on the radios for at least 15-20 minutes. I'm checking my moving map, and there's not a single other airplane out there. It's about 9 o'clock local time in Kansas. There's not a single plane out there. So I'm up there by myself. I'm being watched by ATC on their radar, so I know I'm safe. And so I take my cockpit lights, and there's dimming switches, kind of like in your car where you can dim down the dashboard lights when you're driving at night. I dim those down all the way until I can barely see them. And then I have strobes and flashing lights on the outside of my aircraft that I see reflecting back in on the glass panels of my windows. I go ahead and run my fingers across and flip all those lights off, and the whole plane goes dark. Barely see my screens. I turn those all the way down to dim. The whole cockpit goes dark. All I can see now is the moonlight reflecting off the glint of the prop as it spins around there, so often I see a little flash from the moonlight hitting the prop. I can see the front of my airplane, the cowling, and I can see the dashboard in the aircraft. Below the dashboard, where it blocks up the moonlight, my legs are totally black. The seats beside me are totally black. The floor is black, and the wings, my left and right, are totally black. I can't see anything but the propeller in front of me, the cowling or the hood of the airplane, and the dashboard. And it was crazy. I put my hands down in my lap and I looked down at them. I couldn't even see my hands. It was that dark. And for a moment, I felt a feeling of almost weightlessness. So I'm sitting there staring at this big, huge moon, and the stars are twinkling, and the horizon just blends in right with the ground. So it's as if everything I'm flying through right now is space. Can't see my hands, so I'm just sitting there, enjoying, like, as the plane moves through the air. I'm just sitting there, and I feel like I'm just floating through the air. Like, I don't feel like I'm in the aircraft anymore. It feels like I'm outside the aircraft. I'm just floating across the middle of western Kansas. I do that for about 5, 10, maybe it was 15 minutes. I don't know. I kind of lost track of time. Just in this surreal experience where no other lights are distracting me from the sky. I see millions and millions of stars and this giant moon, every detail just shining bright right at me. But like I said, I do that for 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes tops. soak it all in, and then by about that time, ATC comes on the radio and gives me a new clearance, tells me to switch frequencies. So I take that opportunity as a distraction from the moment I was in. I go ahead and flip on all the lights again, strobes start flashing on the outside of the airplane. I turn my screens up and cockpit slowly lights back up and turn the floor lights on, and once again I can see my feet, and I'm back in the airplane, and felt like I don't know, it literally felt like I just stepped outside the airplane for a moment and just flying, just my body through the air, and it was amazing. Got back safely, landed in Salina, and just cherished that. I wish I could have taken pictures or recorded it to show other people, but it's one of those things that happens maybe once in a lifetime, where you get the opportunity where you're flying by yourself, just to experience the sky like that. Especially, it was awesome. It was awesome.